Hi, and this is Marcus, and welcome to the brand new video on Nik Collections 9. This version introduces groundbreaking AI-driven masking and high-end analog-inspired filters for pixel, precise control, and authentic creative effects. It is a really good update, and we're going to go over those features right now. We're going to start off in Color Efex. Let's go ahead and open up a file within Color Efex, and let's get started. We're going to open up this file here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the new features that are here within the Color Efex, and then I'm going to explain how the AI masking actually works. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to add a little bit more fog to this photo. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go ahead and tell it, let's add some more fog. Now you see that it puts it everywhere. This is the key thing to make note of, is that you can only add the AI masking to those things that are local adjustments. Now here inside of Color Efex, everything you're doing is pretty much a local adjustment. When you go into applications like Analog Efex, there are some of their filters that are not local adjustments, and you will not see this add a local adjustment available. So if you don't see that available, you will not be able to add these AI maskings. But I'll explain, like for instance, when we go into Analog Efex, if I add a film look to it, well, of course, that film look is meant to go over the entire photo, not just parts of the photo, in order to accomplish that film look. So you won't see local adjustments for that. But let's just go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through each of these new AI features that they actually have. Some of these are already there. So if you've been using the application, you know that control point, control line, and the control polygon, and the luminar mask, and even the color mask. Those are still there, and they were there in the last version. But let's just go right now with the new depth mask. When I go with the depth mask, as I point my pointer over a certain area, this will show me where that would actually show up at. So I can decide where I want it to actually be. And I want this to be behind her. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and you'll see that what it did was it added it behind her. Now, this is going to give me the ability to do a couple things here. I can actually increase where the mask is actually going just by pulling this here. And I actually have the controls where I can control the intensity of this, right? I can make that just a little softer right there. And we actually have blending modes. Now I can go into blending modes, and as I'm doing blending modes, you can see what I'm actually doing. Now, if I go dark and I multiply, that's going to take away the fog. It defeats the purpose. But if I go in something like screen or maybe soft light, you can see that it actually like screen 2. That'll make it a little bit lighter. But I do have the blending modes, and the way that works, let's say for instance, I went into screen, and you can control the opacity of the actual local adjustment by just pulling this down here, right? But you can also control the blending mode up here where it says 100%. I can pull that down, and now that gives me control of the actual blending mode. So I'm going to take this blending mode back to normal. So you can see that's a very welcome addition of something that you can use, and you can use to your ability to do that. Now, I can continue to keep adding mask. If I wanted to say, okay, let's add another mask, I'm going to go back to depth mask, and I want to put this in front. Now, you have to be careful how this is because it doesn't give you diffusion. What I would have to do is if I put it in front of her, you can see that's not a good spot to put it, but I can put it from right here where it's going around her neck and some other places, and you'll see that fog is actually there. Now you can actually keep this together by locking it, and I can unlock it so I can have better fall off. That's basically what it's allowing me to do. And then I can go back in here again. Now this is going to apply to both masks. So when I go to the blending mode, whatever I have this set for, this is not going to be individually set. This is going to be for the entire filter. So I've already controlled that. But what I can do here is just on this one, if that's coming in too strong, that's where this opacity here will allow me to take it down a little bit more. So now I got control of that mask. If I take this off, you'll see that it goes away. If I put that on, if I take this one off, you'll see the one in the back goes away and the one in the front stays. So that's very good masking tools, especially for Nik Collections. You can do a lot of great things with that. So let's go ahead and take this one off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and I'm going to do some color grading. So let's say, for instance, we want to color grade. I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Now this will actually put an entire, based upon, this is a default. I can go in here and I'm able to, again, use my blending modes if I want to be able to use that. But on top of that, if I hit these lines, they actually have some starting points. So I can go into different looks, and this is starting points. Now, as of right now, they don't give you the ability to be able to save your own starting point. I can save this as a preset and be able to call it up from my preset menus. But this right here, as of right now, you don't have the ability to add your own starting points right now. So that may be something they'll change in the future. But we'll go here and let's just say we want to go with, let's go with Cine Grade to the 3-way. So that's giving me a 3-part color harmony or 3-part color, the way that it's color grading. What I can do is if I click this here, this one here controls everything. So I can move that. And of course, that's going to have an effect on the highlights and the actual shadows and the midtones. But if we put it back in the middle, if I go here now with the highlight, now I have the ability to move this from here, or I can grab this slider and move it like this and warm that up, or put more of a amber color in there. And then I can go to my shadows and I can play with the blueness in there and go a little bit closer to magenta to kind of give it a little bit more color. And then I can go to my highlights. I can pull my midtone towards the turquoise color. Now, one thing you'll note, you have the ability to actually saturate this as well. Okay, so once I click on one, you have the ability to do some saturation on this. When I go into here, this will allow me to do certain things. So if I go into this color grade and I click this little bar here, you'll see we can change the hue, we can change the saturation and the luminosity of this, or the luminance. Now, when I go ahead and saturate, you'll see what it's doing. It's pushing it from the position of where it was closer to the edge. So as close to the edge as you get, that's going to give more saturation. We can pull this back right here. And so that'll let you control it in 2 different places. Here with the blue, that's a little bit more saturation. So I can pull that back up and you can see now I'm desaturating it, but I'm still adding it overall look for that. And then we can go into the luminosity of that and just lift that up right there. And then I have the ability, once I do that, now we have the balance of how we want to play with this. Remember, this is just selected for the shadows. So if I decided to warm my shadows up, the shadows will warm. If I want to cool them off, the shadows will cool. And I'll have this ability to do that for each parameter that I select. The midtones, the highlights, I have it for everything, to include also for the main one. If I decided to do that, you'll see that affects everything with that. So that really works out really cool. And you can add multiple color grades, right? So I have that color grade there. I can go back here and I can add another one, and I can just continue to go where I can blend in different ones and get an entirely different look by using both of them. So that's real cool tools that they actually have for that. We're going to go ahead and close that up. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to open something here. Let's open another file. Okay. With this photo right here, there's a cool feature called halation. And this is really cool. So I want to click on halation, and I want some halation to be in this photo. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to intensify that, and you'll see what it's doing. It's actually putting it all over. I'm going to bring up the sensitivity where it's bringing up a lot of halation. Now, of course, if the halation is coming in from the back of her, it's not going to be in her face, right? So you want to mask that out, and you can actually change the color of the halation. I can go back and change it to whatever color I want to. Let's just keep it on red. You can decrease the ability to do the opacity like you can in the rest of them. Or I can go and change different blending modes, right? To be able, whatever blending mode I want to be able to use. And I can control that blending mode by going right here and pulling this slider down. And that controls the intensity of the blending mode, or the level of how much is being applied. Now we'll go in here and I'm going to say, let's do this. Now, there's a certain area where I want this halation to actually reside. Now, the depth mask happens to be the best one to be able to do that, but I haven't showed you the object yet. So let's click this right here. And as I point this object, you'll see where it puts it at. Let's put it in the windows, and I can go ahead and add another mask. Let's go ahead and do it with the object, and I can just continue to add those masks and put the halation wherever I really want to be able to put that. We can put it there. And then we're going to combine this. We got it coming from the window. Now we're going to combine it to where it's coming in through the window. Now we need a little bit more to spill on the back of her. So we'll go ahead and hit this, and then I'll hit the depth mask. And when I hit the depth mask, now as I'm pointing, you can see where it's actually coming. That's where I want it to be. And as I take that, you can see that it's coming right around where her hair is at. Now, if I take that off, it's still staying within here. But I can go back in here and I can go ahead and select it. And you see what it's letting me do. I can start selecting where I want that to come in. That's coming into the face. We do not want that at all. We want that to kind of stay in the back. And what I would actually do with this is all I'd have to do is just control how much opacity of that is actually showing through. So we got a little bit of it coming from the back, and that's actually working really well. We can continue to combine different masks within the same effect, and we can do this on every local adjustment that we want to be able to do. So let's go ahead and switch to Analog Efex. Here inside of Analog Efex, this is one of the things I was telling you about. If I say let's add a film look, and I'm going to go ahead and add this film look here, right? When I add that film look, you'll see for the film look, there is no local adjustments. So this is for basic adjustments. You'll see local adjustments here. Let's take that off. But you'll see there is no local adjustment. It's because this is supposed to go over the entire photo to get that film look that I'm trying to achieve. This is more of a LUT being placed over the entire photo because it gives me the ability to give a film look. I can fade it, give the strength, and I can play with the grain. And so this does not have the ability to do local adjustments. If I decided to go with vignetting, you'll see vignetting does not give me the ability to have local adjustments. Now there's a really cool effect that they have. There's two cool ones that we're going to actually use here. One is going to be called Chromatic Shift. If I go ahead and click this, you'll see it came in and gave me a chromatic shift. And I can shift that based upon however I want to do this with the angle. I can go up, I can go down, wherever the default is at. If I want to be able to use that, this will allow me to transform it. I can invert it. I can do just several different things. I can lower the opacity of that shift. This is something that you see mostly on CD covers or posters for movies and things like that. I can pull this. I can do a whole bunch of things with this. We got a zoom, how we want to zoom this and zoom it out. We can change different colors of this. So that's a real cool feature that they actually have. Let's take that one off. Now let's go to the other one, which is called Glass Effect. This gives you the ability to give the appearance that you're looking at this through glass, right? And so we can go through some analog glass, and as I'm clicking at that, it's like I took this through, for certain shots, you can get like you took this through a glass or you took it through a window of some sort. And if I wanted to be able to clear that effect out, or to be able to say, okay, I want her face to be cleared with this, all I have to do now is go to local adjustments. And on this local adjustment, I could click this right here and I'll just let this just go ahead and choose. You'll see that it's got her skin, right? And then what I could do with that, now that I've selected that, I could invert that, and that takes it off of her face. and just leaves it there. And then I can go ahead and play with the feathering of that. You'll see how it feathers. I can take the opacity down to that, and now I can just walk that up to my desired taste and be able to really use this the way I want to be able to use it. And that is Nik Collection 9. What we went over was the advanced AI precision tools. We actually looked at some of the new creative filters and effects, such as Chromatic Shift tool, Glass Effect tool, and the Cinematic Halation. I would highly recommend this as an upgrade for those that are using version 7 and 8. It's $99 in the US, $89.99 for the euro, and if you're in England with the pound, $79.99. If you're on the fence and you've never used this application, I can't stress how good this application actually is. I've been using it for over 10 years. I've used it when it went through its 3 ownerships of 2 different companies before it wound up in DxO hands. And I believe DxO has done a fine job in adding creativity to this application and being able to just push it forward with the new technologies that are available. And so I highly recommend it. Again, thanks for watching. And I would never do a video or any kind of recommendation of any software that I do not use or have used within my photography business. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button and click the notifications.